We're gonna
back
go
in the
live just
beginning,
like this.
back when Red used to not be able to do anything. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, we're live now, Red. All right, let's keep going with
The audio input.
the audio
sounds like-
check. So down with your volume and up with your output.
You just don't understand.
Parents just don't understand.
My input.
Guys, to the show.
Welcome to the Bro Show Live. Episode Nintendo 64 is here upon us.
We're here with
Could have
Keith,
been for the older
Blacksail
people. I could have
Market.
said Commodore 64 for the older folks.
Oh, there you go.
And television for the really, really old folks.
Yeah, man.
All right, we're here with Keith, Blacksail Market. Welcome, sir. Appreciate having you on the show.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I've hung out with all you guys at least a couple of times, and then me and my boy Abolish go way back, dude, several years. So really appreciate the invite, man.
Yeah, Bausch has been running your lights forever, and I imagine he's going to continue doing so forever.
And he will be with us shortly.
He will. He's doing some duties, and he'll be here when he is finished with that stuff. We appreciate everyone being here. We appreciate you being here, Blacksail. Let's go around the horn and introduce everyone. We'll get into some topics. Chat, if you want, you can give us some questions and stuff. We're happy to answer questions. We do a good job of that. Otherwise, we'll talk like grow current events, what's going on in our gardens, and any other interesting things that may come up. Dan, welcome to the show, sir. Where can everyone find you?
Thank you for having me. Thanks for joining us, chat. Dankman Dan, you can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me here with the Bro Show at 9 p.m. Sunday nights. And Wake and Bake, it's going to be hit and miss for the next few weeks, but we'll get some things scheduled and keep you guys posted on that.
Point, Dan, we'll talk about the Wake and Bake at some point in the show as well, I'm sure. Red, can you hear me well?
I can hear you. Can you hear me well? That is the question.
You sound really good.
Chatland, can you hear
You're
me?
blowing your ears?
How's the audio going?
Chat. We need feedback on Red's volume level.
Yeah, we need feedback on my levels. The last couple shows have been a little bit down. I've been tweaking some things, so hopefully tweak them correctly. If not, maybe I just have to sit up on my microphone all night, and that's fine, I suppose, if I have to. We'll
if
see.
he sounds bad on a particular device, make sure you say so. Everybody says you sound good, Red.
Sweet. Hey, cheers, everybody. I'm Red Setter Farm. You can find me right here in the Michigan Bros Grow Show. Shout out to Medical Mondays. They're going to be collaborating with the Late Sesh tomorrow on Monday night. Which is that? Skilbo the 26th or something? What's the date right now? Yeah, Monday the 26th. And you're going to catch Skilbo, myself, I believe Sequence, maybe.
Yes. What we will be doing on that is we will be doing both shows. So you guys, if you want to catch the first hour of it, go over to Medical Mondays podcast on YouTube, subscribe, and the live stream, they go live at 9 p.m. on Mondays. They run till 11, and then we run from 11 until 1. So we were talking about, making this nice block of cannabis programming for Monday for the YouTube growers. And we're all excited about it. So what we'll do is they're going to do the first hour of their show. Red and I are going to join them at 10. We'll run till 11. Then we're going to bring them over to our show, and then we're going to run them from 11 till 12, and we'll be good from there. And hopefully we can meet some new friends and stuff along the way, and some new people in chat. So cheers, everybody.
This crossover show, man. It's going to be a good show. Dig it.
It'd be cool to kind of replicate a little bit of what we do on Sunday with meshing up with other shows to create a block of content for people. So I hope everyone tunes in for that.
That's what the Sundays are, bro. That's how we did this with Growing with My Fellow Growers. That's where it started. Exactly. 7 p.m. till 9.
We're keeping it local too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, man. It's all meant in love.
Also,
I'm excited to be joining you guys on that and representing the show.
Yeah, it's very awesome.
Be really nice.
Otherwise,
Follow viewers, come and check us out on their channel.
Yeah, otherwise you can find me at Instagram at Red Setter Farm. Check out some photography there. And I'm smoking on some Rainbow Driver tonight. Cheers, everybody.
I think Rainbow Driver is the perfect meds for you, Red. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, it is. It is for keeping me focused, keeping me moving. Good daytime. I was smoking Flow for anxiety reasons, but it was keeping me a little sedate, I suppose. Not too sedate. It's got a nice daytime effect to it. But the Rainbow Driver is a little bit better if I'm if there's nothing
Trying to
crazy
get
going
stuff
on in
done.
the world, yeah, if I'm trying to get stuff done and if my anxiety levels are low enough, I love the Rainbow Driver, man. It's just got that funk, that skunk funk is what does it.
Spartan, sir, where can everyone find you, man?
Place they can find me is right here, Michigan Bros Grow Show, or at Instagram at Spartan Grown, all one word, no spaces. Or you can follow me at work at Mid Canico on Instagram. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Sorry, chat is so fucking fast today. So many people in chat, I can't hardly keep up. I'm missing people. They're all tagging me and saying hi. Sorry. Hello, everybody in chat. I'm just gonna get over with this. I can't keep up with you guys. Chat.
This is what it's like to be our version of Britney Spears.
You're gonna do it, baby, one more time.
I guess you probably have more hair than Britney Spears.
I was keeping up until I had to start talking, and then just can't do it. That too many things at once.
Who's picturing a schoolgirl sequence right now?
Whoa.
Well, she'll have a face over on somebody.
Good times.
And Keith Blacksail, where can everyone find you, man? Where can everyone find your stuff?
Yeah, man. Blacksailmarket.com. You can find me on Instagram or Cannabis at Blacksailmarket. I've got some new like logos and shit, some new t-shirts on Teespring. It's at black-sail-market on Teespring. I don't know. We can post the link if you want.
Sure, yeah.
I think the new logo is actually kind of dope. I'll show it to you guys if you like. But yeah, man. My story is I build LED grow lights. I know Abolish from way back, so that's kind of how I became like a friend of y'all's show. Really glad to be here. But yeah, I try to build really big, powerful LED lights for the lowest possible price at the highest possible efficiency. It's kind of what I do. So,
But aren't you doing a new design, like a flatter design for
yeah, man.
challenge?
Yeah, it's still, I still got to test them for a few months, bro. And it's still a little ways away. So I don't talk about it a whole lot. But I do have a new design I'm running the prototypes in my veg tent right now. And they're performing really well. They're fucking rocking out. Because the Canon's the one light I have right now it's a 320 watt cob on a big fucking heat sink. The heat sink is like 9 inches tall. And it's just not meant for small areas. It's not meant for low ceilings or tiny little tents. It's meant to be a big fuck off powerful light for like at least a 3x3. So I wanted to make a smaller one. That's what I'm working on now. Working with some mid-power Samsung diodes, which honestly, like, as far as efficiency goes, man, they really are like the gold standard. So I'm excited to be like building something out of those.
What kind of a flowering footprint are you looking at?
So I like to make things a little overpowered. So it's I tend to shoot higher for like, so PPFD is a measure of light intensity, and I shoot for a higher PPFD. So I recommend it for a 2x2. It's going to be 150 watts.
Nice.
2.3 micromoles per joule.
Kind of like that because I grow my style of growing. I grow 4 plants in a 4x4, so that'd be 1 light per plant. So it doesn't matter if they're different heights. I don't have to scrog them together to get them the same height. I can adjust the light to the plant. That's kind of cool. Do they daisy chain together, or is it 4 plugs?
No, dude. So that's another thing I'm really into is form factor. I'm a fucking grower and I use these lights in my own garden, and I want my lights to be individually adjustable. In a home grow, in a 4x4, you're not always growing all the same strain. What if I want half my garden to be a fucking stubby little indica and the other half to be just a big fuck off tall proud landrace sativa? I want to be able to raise and lower my lights individually, So that's why I built the Canon the way I did. 2 of them in a 4x4. You got a ratchet hanger hooked onto the back of each, and basically you can have half your garden at a different height than the other and still get like the optimal, height from cob to canopy. So like with the 150 watt light, it's meant to cover a 2x2. I will build a frame to connect 2 of them. and have like hooks with like metal wires kind of running from side to side so that you can have two of them and still only have to adjust two ratchet hangers.
Yeah.
But I won't hook those together to make a 4 frame because it's self-defeating. You've got the same number of ratchet hangers and you've suddenly lost like a lot of flexibility in the height of your canopy.
Yeah, I'd rather have the 4 individual lights, to be honest with you.
Right.
As long as I could daisy chain them together and have one power outlet.
And each one's going to run on its own driver as well, so you can adjust their wattage individually.
Oh,
Like
nice.
I really think that flexibility is key. And if you just hang your LEDs and leave them at the same wattage and the same height all the time, you're fucking up. You know, based on like the size of your plants and how much of the area you're covering, like you should have those lights at different heights, you know, different intensities all throughout the grow.
Yeah, you could always make better use of your electricity by moving your lights around for sure.
Yep.
I'm a Spartan on the daisy chaining also, man. I hate that I need like multiple timer. I mean, you can get what 14, 15 amps on a timer, and like some of these LED, like for example, the Fluence LEDs are like 0.3 amps, or there's some crazy low number. Like I can get like 10 lights on a single like, I don't know, maybe more. I could probably get 12 or 15 of these lights on a single circuit if I wanted to, but I'm gonna need 10 or 15 separate timers. It's crazy. I want to just do them all together and run them into one timer, or you know, maybe I could run them into a surge protector and run that into a timer, I suppose. But I need multiple surge protectors. Fire hazards. Individual points of plug-in are all fire hazards. I want to limit those.
Well, the expensive answer is get a light controller, but yeah, I love the daisy chain. Like I can remember the days of the T8s, you know, and you could just fucking plug one into the other, to the other, to the other, to the other, all the way through the whole fucking room, and then plug it into a timer. Just don't overload that 15.
Shit's scary to me.
Why
man.
is my cord so hot? My extension cord is hot.
Looks like a lightsaber.
Speaking of sabers, where is Abolished at? See, that's his cue to like make a grand.
He's watching.
Yeah.
He's watching. He's giving us creative producer feedback in the production chat.
There you go, then. You can see all the difference it's making, guys.
It's working, right?
So what did you get done to this weekend sequence in the greenhouse, man? I saw it cleaned up pretty good in there. Looks nice.
We did. We took all the dead leaves and stuff off the plants and then cleaned up the floor real good. We've harvested every plant that's ready to be harvested. So we've got a few more to go. But GMO and stuff is still looking very much like GMO out there.
You just gonna let it go forever, right?
Yeah.
January, let it go to January, right?
Sure, we can let it go as long as it wants to go because we've got other stuff to trim and, you know, so it's not like it's taken up anything. So
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't make it out this week. I had to work this weekend, but that means I got the next couple weekends off, so I might be able to sneak out there maybe next weekend.
Next weekend is going to be a really busy one, I think, as far as trimming goes more than anything, because I think we'll have most of the harvesting done. But
that's something I can do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fresh Cut was talking about your trimming. He goes, "Man, have you seen Spartan trim?" I'm like, "Well, he does it all the time." He goes, "I got lost watching him trim for a couple of minutes there. He can move a lot of flour."
Yeah, man, it's like I don't even want to say it's like an art or anything. It's not. It's just like the more you do something, the better you get. That's how I got.
Absolutely.
Because I started out terrible, like super slow.
We talk about it in
Still.
relation to like all of the other dumb stuff though. So like when we put together enough grow tents that we get really good at it, we're like,
Yeah.
that's how you know you've done it too much.
Yep.
So we talk about it in that context rather than the positive
Exactly.
one. Yeah.
There is a question in chat for Blacksail. Dro Grows wants to know if you have any plans of adding automation or controllers.
I mean, I haven't really felt the need for any. Like, I don't know if this is popular or not, but I've kind of gone full circle with LEDs and come back to like a much more like simple approach. Like I've had like the programmable fucking Arduino boards with like, you know, different lights on different times and supplementals and all that. And like, honestly, man, the benefits are negligible. I think you're better off just getting more full spectrum fixtures, and you know, you can just plug them into a wall timer, just like an HPS. Like if you really want to do like a sunrise, sunset, just have like half of them come on like 15 minutes before the other half, something like that. But you really don't necessarily need a fancy controller. It's not that it won't have any benefit whatsoever. It's just that the money that you would spend on that controller in almost 99% of cases would be better off spent just getting more high efficiency, full spectrum LEDs, whether they're Cobbs or mid power Samsungs. Almost
I agree
always
with that. Yeah. And you can always add like a Wi-Fi plug, like I was just saying in the chat, like a Casa plug or something like that to control it and not add much to that cost.
It's so hard when the chat is going quickly. I get distracted by Abolish long, you know, like Fiona Apple type style fucking album cover fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like 86 words long. Holy shit.
Wow.
He's got that long name now. It makes it difficult to type.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna get some visuals.
What do we call him now? We don't call him do we still call him abolished?
The Golden Fisherman.
What's the acronym? ND
Dirty Dirty.
We call him the Nundua. We call him the Nundua.
Sounds like a character from Dune or something. Mod Dib.
He's done it to himself.
A whole lot of smoking going on. I hope everybody in the chat is having a great close to their Sunday night. I see we are teetering right on the edge of 150 people. I just want to say cheers, man.
So they're asking in chat, what do you think? 60% humidity to dry, relative humidity to dry hang. Are they worrying about mold, obviously?
They said, I would think that you would get mold at 60% RH dry hang. What are you doing for airflow then?
I would say I would disagree, but there's a caveat. I want the first day or two at least, I want it down to 55 or lower. And then after that, I'll let it go all the way. I've had it grow all the way up to 70. You know, when I saw 70, I made some adjustments, but I think you're still okay at those humidities. 60%, anything in the 60s, I'm very comfortable with. Once it creeps into the 70s, I'm starting to get worried.
Yeah, I agree with all those points.
With some botrytis showing up during the drying process on some very large, dense nugs. I had the proper humidity, I thought, 60%, nice airflow. It was just the buds were so dense, man. I was trimming them up, and there's inside the bud, there's some trapped moisture in there somehow.
Right, and it was probably already there, like when you harvested.
True. Right on.
Honestly, and then
it's those really good grower problems. You know what I mean? When you really can get the plants to yield, then you got a whole different set of problems to worry about.
Yeah, so now it's like, when you come up to them really nice solid colas, I think I'm just gonna buck them down into the smaller nugs and maybe flat dry them or something, versus losing them. We lost, a couple ounces to a couple nugs.
Yeah, it's definitely part of the deal. Grow it outside.
No, that was indoor.
So I don't know. I'm not following chat very well, but what are you guys' opinion on whole plant hang or cut each stem? And I think the answer really is depends. It depends on the environment that you're drying.
Exactly.
Do you struggle with pull moisture out? Is the ambient humidity really high? Then yeah, you're going to break it down as much as possible because airflow is about the only thing you have to help you in that situation. But if you have the opposite of that, if it's really dry air in the ambient, then hell yeah, do a whole plant hang.
Yeah, dude, I'm struggling with that Colorado crunch, man.
Yeah, there you go. So
The
For,
first crop I dried here after moving to Denver, whew, 5 days, bro. She got crunchies.
oh my god. Yeah, for me it's like the happy medium.
An eighth is like this big. It's like,
Oh jeez, dude. I would, yeah, that would be terrible. Humidify your dry room. That's terrible. But
Yeah.
I'm in the happy medium. All I do is I do a full plant hang, but I take off all the big fan leaves. But if I was in your situation, I'd probably leave the fan leaves too.
And push multiple plants closer together to try to control that micro climate.
yeah.
Water that fucker an hour before you harvest it too.
Oh shit! I never thought about that. That's an interesting idea. I definitely I cut it down from 5 days to 3 the second time around, and that seemed to work a lot better. You know, I got rid of the biggest leaves, still left some leaves on there, and gave it about 3 days before I really started trimming and jarring it up. And that's all it took, man. It's dry. It's really dry out here.
Yeah.
Wow.
I run into that in the wintertime. Like my room's 35, I don't know, man, 35% humidity sometimes. And my plants are dried up, crispy in about 4 days, and I got to homogenize that moisture and stick them in totes, seal it off. And
You have
usually it turns back into a wet sponge, but
forced air heat, Brad, or electric heat? How are you heating your building?
it's radiant floor heat. It's warm. I mean, it's
Right
warm.
on. So it's a dry
The problem
heat.
is that's the problem, but it's dry heat. It's middle of winter time. There is no humidity in the air. It's sub freezing outside. I mean, you know, the drying room it has a humidifier in it, so it won't go past 55% humidity the first couple of days. But then all of a sudden, once that moisture comes off of the plants, there's no additional moisture in the room or in the ambient air to add back to the plants at all.
Yeah, all of our greenhouse buds went down into tents that we have set up with heaters, dehumidifiers, humidifiers, and ACs and stuff. So they have all of the ways of control, so we can keep them right set at 60. They've got ink birds on humidity and temperature. It's like total overkill, but there's, you know, a decent quantity of flower hanging in there. So, and we're dedicated to doing it exactly the right way. So if you have the space, that's what I would say to do, is to get a little like 1x2 tent and shove it in your closet or whatever and deck that thing out, and you can really dry and cure in that thing. Do exactly what Spartan preaches all the time, and then you can leave it in there because it's 60 all the time. You can really close it up and
Life changing. I don't know why it's so why
Truly.
you fight so hard to push people in that direction. It's fucking life changing.
And all of your flowers immediately like 50% better when you do that. Start doing that. It's a big deal.
There's a reason everybody tells you to do it. You just have
It's
to
just
see it for
hard,
yourself.
you know.
I mean, it's just you
Lots of
build out a
people-
room. It doesn't have to be a big room. You can build out a space under your stairwell, or I mean, it can be a small space if you don't have big harvests. But just build out a space, fucking insulate it, and make it a sealed fucking room, and put your environmental controls in it like it's a fucking grow room, and you won't be sorry.
Yeah. So in relation to the question, it was like whole plant hang or hangers or whatever. That's when you decide, right? Is if you have enough space to whole plant hang all of your plants, then you just do that, in my opinion.
Yes. Yep.
But for our greenhouse plants, we obviously had to trim them down to branches and put them on hangers and stuff like that, and maximize how much space we could use. But you can do that in your house if you need to, and really still do a great job.
It's worth it. It's not something you do right away. That's something you do like you've got your grow that whatever money you've invested in your grow, everything's paid off. You don't have any outstanding bills. You're saving a little extra money or something off to the side because you're not buying weed anymore. Use that money and then build out your space. And I'm telling you, it's
Brilliant.
It makes it so like I can trim a little every day. That's not a big deal. My thing is my goal is I want to trim a pint jar every day. If I do that, my trimming's done. If you only have to trim a little pint jar like that and you're fairly decent at trimming as far as speed goes, it's not a big deal. But if you got to sit down and do a whole harvest, that's kind of a daunting thing, and you get achy and sore and shit. So for me, my way of doing things, that works way better for me And so when I built a space where I could just let the fucking plant hang and it's curing on the vine and I can just fucking trim it whenever I can get to it, I mean, it's fucking just makes life easier. And that's what you want as a grower, make your life easier so you can do the important things. You know what I mean? It frees you up to do other stuff. I even took it a step further. I made it so my dry room is connected also to my storage room where my jars are for the cured bud. So they're all in the same environment. So yeah, they're sitting in jars, but when I open that jar to burp it or whatever, I don't ever have to. It's already
like a
cured.
fucking humidor, man. It's a humidor.
Yeah, it's getting the exact right mix of humidity and temperature, that I'm drying and curing in. Anyway, so it just makes everything easier.
Sequence as the real cigar smoker is probably poo-pooing our analogy of it being an actual humidor, since those cost enormous amounts of
It's like
cash.
a walk-in humidor. It's basically what you build.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not too far off.
The space didn't really cost me much to make because it was just an unused space that was already framed out. I just had to, put a little bit of insulation in there. No, I don't think I even had to insulate. I think the walls and everything were already
It just
insulated.
stays that way.
Yeah, I just taped it up with tape for the corners to make sure a little bit more airproof, and put my temperature controls in there, my AC, and I didn't put a DHU in there. I haven't had to. I've got hooked on an exhaust fan if the humidity gets too high. That's all. That's all I got to do. The AC running generally, I have a dehumidify setting on the AC, so it'll just run really cold and pull the humidity out of the air.
Dirty QWERTY says, don't forget fresh frozen hash, no drying needed.
Yeah, man.
That's a good point. I mean, really, if you can't knock out the drying part of it, you can always extract it one way or another.
I'm doing a quick 3-day dry on my fresh frozen.
Let's talk about it, Dan.
Now,
Is that called zombie tech, Dan?
I'm sorry?
Is that called zombie tech? I think I've heard it called before.
I do not know.
Do you mean, when you say quick, do you mean like really low humidity, or do you mean
Just do a
partially.
3-day dry, give the
Partially.
chlorophyll a small chance to break down a little bit, and then
so a normal dry? You're not doing anything
Yes.
differently. Okay.
Yep, it's so what we did was we built out the hash shed, got that all sealed up and weather tight, and then we chopped down our big outdoor plant, hung it in there. We got about 2/3 of it down. We put up some scrog across there and branched it out and hung it up in there. And we'll do on the parts that we're not going to be smoking as bud, we'll in 3 days go out there, buck them off the stem, put them in the turkey bags, and get them in the freezer. So just give the chlorophyll a small chance to break down before I freeze it first.
Hash, man.
It's the tech that people use, I believe. It's called zombie tech, where they dry it and then do all the fresh frozen and all that stuff. So I don't know enough about all that hash rosin.
Yes,
stuff.
and I don't know either, and I don't want to quote it.
I often wonder if you took. I wonder if you could fuck with this, Dan. Take like an outdoor bud. Do you have anything? Everything's harvested. Do you have anything still?
No, I have 1/3 of the plant left to harvest, the lower larvae stuff, the stuff below the scrognet.
So I wonder if you took one of the lower larvae buds or whatever, or a little bit of it, and put that in the freeze dryer fresh. When it comes out, it should crumble into like a dust, and so you should have really good surface area. I wonder if you could wash that at that point.
After the freeze dry,
Yeah,
what you're saying?
yeah. If you could
That would
wash
be
that, or would that just
dry.
be pulverized? I'm
Seems
just
like
worried.
the trichomes would be real brittle.
Yeah, I would say I wonder, man. I don't know if you stop the freeze dryer, it would be so dry, man. It would crumble, wouldn't it, if you touched it?
Yeah, I assume it would.
Because you have to have.
Sure,
Yeah, I don't know.
seems like if it was a great way to do it, people would already be doing it, right?
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Old man Hermit Hash said when he tried to freeze dry a flower, it just tasted like grass, chlorophyll. uncured flour.
Oh yeah, I remember him saying that too. Now.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out a way to, at that point, how would you take a dried material like that and separate the chlorophyll, basically the plant material? Would a dry sift do it?
Mm,
Be able to catch the heads and not the plant material, even when it was dried like that?
I think you're going to get
It
contamination
powderizes it,
in
doesn't
dry
it?
sift.
Yeah.
You know, if when you
It
scope
would be
it,
so
unless
dry
you're
that it would
staticking it
break down. Yeah.
and pulling full milk
So-
out of it, you're going to have some type of contaminant.
One of my friends got a freeze dryer for his bubble hash, you know. So basically he dries his plants usually for like 3 days, then makes, you know, bubble hash out of them and then presses the bubble hash into rosin. It's a Pedro method. It's pretty fucking legit. But he's also fucked around a lot with the freeze dryer. So I've had like freeze dried weed that was just like taken fresh and putting in the freeze dryer. And it's weird, man. Like it's got crazy bag appeal because the flower just like gets so preserved and it's all like bright and perfect looking. And then it's also like a really smooth hit. Like, if you hit it in a bong, like or a bowl, like it doesn't burn your throat at all. But it's also like it's got like a weird, like almost no flavor. Like it's
Like it's the
you know,
flavor's been
I'll let
sucked
turn
out of
it
it.
on.
if you leave fruit or if you leave shit just like exposed in your refrigerator, you know how the fridge kind of leaches the flavor out and replaces it with like refrigerator flavor.
Yeah,
That's kind of what
fridge
happened
terps.
with fried bud. Yeah.
See, I knew I never wanted it, but now it's even more not appealing.
Yeah. So,
It's
I wonder
not the
if
way, man. It's not the way.
I was just wondering if there's a way to quick dry the bud and then extract the medicine. Maybe quick dry it and then do an alcohol extraction or a BHO extraction or something. Because it would be so dry that it would the surface area would be fucking maximum, you would think, because it would just be crumbled to dust.
you think so? Yes. Yes. I'm not sure. Maybe
As far
crumbled
as
up.
like time quickness goes, there's no quicker way than just to fresh freeze it.
I mean, if you're not worried about
know?
flavor or anything, that's probably your best bet is to freeze dry it fresh and then alcohol extract it, like crunch it up and then alcohol extract
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it'll be crushed up already if it's like glass, you know.
That would probably be a great method, right? Because you're not going to be looking for flavors or anything, just pure
Right.
medicine at that point. So
Exactly.
But the terpenes are medicine
It's
too, though.
live.
Don't forget.
I
about
agree with that,
Pros-
Scopo, 100%. 100%. Yeah, the freeze dryers that we haven't even turned it on yet, so it's still sitting in the damn crate over there.
Oh,
Doesn't
is
it feel
that
good to
awesome?
have it,
Poor
though?
Dan,
Well,
dude.
he waited
know-
so long for that thing, guys.
Yeah,
so
man,
patiently.
we're just gonna do it right. And we're getting there, man. Hopefully before November it'll be up and running. But
Don't you wish you were 35 still, or at least had a man of 35's energy?
yeah, man, I just wish I had a
Boy,
bigger
time.
bigger pocketbook would help right out.
There you
But,
go. Cashman Dan.
Yeah, hardly. But I do it all by myself with my wife's help, and we're getting it done, man.
Cash man, Dan, I like it.
Right on.
Only fans Dan.
Man, I got some Primal Punch coming down, like 8 of them, guys. It's gonna be nice, and it's all for Ash. So nice.
Good. That's good. That's vegging in my
Remember,
veg
you
room right
need to
now.
share it
That
with
very
me.
cut.
Yeah, man, you guys are gonna be my guinea pigs. So
I like
all
it.
my first processes get to go to all you guys. I'll make a trip down. We'll have fun,
Yeah,
and
we got to make sure that it's good, that nobody's
Yeah,
gonna get
man, we
thick
can't
or
be putting
something.
out can't be putting out no.
Dan wants to make sure it doesn't kill, other people, but he'll kill us.
He'll kill us.
Yeah,
For
man.
science. For
Quit it.
science.
Precisely.
Nothing ventured, nothing
Yes,
gained,
just be my guinea
friends.
pigs, man. It'll be fun. Good times.
So, Dan, while we're talking hash, before we get off of this, do you want to talk about the hash shed? Since we haven't been able to cover it on the Wake and Bake.
That's a good one.
Yeah. What do you want to know about what we're doing with it? What we
Well,
did?
let's bring everybody up to speed. Let's tell them what
Okay.
size it is, and let's tell them what our plan is and all that good groovy shit.
Okay, guys, we built a 10-foot wide or 10 by 12-foot wide building that has 9-foot walls on one side, 8-foot walls on the other, so we can have some elevated wash barrels. it's all going to be insulated. Well, it is insulated. Yeah, man, we're going to put a 12-ton mini split in there with a cool bot and make some fresh frozen up here in northern Michigan, because northern Michigan needs to be represented. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Excited, getting there.
We're all so excited for you because we've seen this since the planning stage, and it's coming together so quick, and it's coming together
man,
right on time, brother.
The thing is yeah, man, here's the thing. I'm not complaining or nothing, but man, with all this COVID stuff, and materials have doubled since we initially had planned this. And like, yeah, what we had budgeted for the shed was like needed double now because of materials are either a shortage or something. But
Yeah, the price of wood is insane.
$7 2x4s will eat up a budget quick.
Hell no. Imagine if you were doing 2x6 on that construction.
I thought about it, but whatever.
Nice for the insulation, but horrible for the pocketbook.
We'll just overkill it with AC.
Yeah.
We were really fortunate that we built our greenhouse, like all of everything we had ordered, like right when that started. So all that didn't happen yet.
Yeah, man. We built 1,000-foot privacy fence right before that shit, dude.
Oh shit!
Yeah, we bought. I think our 4x4 posts were like $7. Now they're like $19 for the same post. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I feel bad for anybody building a house or doing any type of remodeling. Cheers, guys.
Just reminded me about all the construction I have to do and all the materials I have to get. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
That's what you wanted to remind it of at this moment.
Half-inch sheet of OSB, $23.
Shredder and Chad's looking for some tires. Hit them
I'm
up.
so glad I got my construction already done.
For Red, I'm gonna be hitting you up for that mini split, man.
There
Come
it is.
get it. I got two.
I got
I
two.
know you
Get
do.
one of them. Come get them both.
If you're already here, you might as
The
well get them
spring's,
both.
the spring's getting closer, man. Closer and closer. Soon it's gonna be January, and I'm gonna be like, yo, Red,
Oh,
I want them to go to somebody who's going to need them and use them right.
fucking A, man.
They're brand new.
Red, how's your outdoor doing right now?
It's mostly chopped. I have one Death Star and a half of a Girls Gone Wild to chop down. Just went out there. My hands are all sticky still. I was out there chopping the Girls Gone Wild and took the bottoms of the Grape 8. I smoked some of the Grape Glee. It still tastes like chlorophyll slightly, but man, does this taste like fucking raspberries and just fruity. I got ripped off of it. Made me take a nap. Got really high. So the outdoor is great. I was just out there. I love it, man. I enjoy harvesting at nighttime. It's a really, really peaceful experience. You got the flashlight and just kind of get the bugs kind of like floating around. There's a little bit of mist in the air because the clouds are falling down. It's really, really fun. The Girls Gone Wild is just super purple, so it's really nice. I've been like defanning for the last like 2 weeks, probably, just perpetual defanning.
Making your
Just
job
about
easier.
every day. Yeah, like we've had like small freezes and we've had some rains and stuff, and just about every time we get one of those, we get some dead fan leaves. The flowers look great, man. I knock on wood because I still have to get through this last little bit of drying and whatnot, but the botrytis issues that I had last year, I have not seen at all this year. It's been fantastic, and I really think that it has a lot to just do with the entire the whole way that I've been like permaculture growing out there with the sunflowers and the herbs and everything, just having all the beneficials out there to just keep it clean. I mean, I think that all the natural environment's been keeping it clean.
Is
and
it the
healthy.
same strains, Red, as last year?
Well,
Mostly.
there's an interesting
Mostly.
one. I want to know if the green Daddy Perp is out there still.
It's still out there. Yeah, I still have that one full too. So
Okay.
I have the 2.5, I suppose. There's a couple Great Apes that were like Jack's fed sort of in a pot.
not worried
like I
about
fed
them.
them like once or twice. No, I'm not really worried about them. I'm just going to concentrate them anyways. So if
I was
pull
just
my
curious if like maybe some of your results were from like selectively putting plants outside based on what would succeed more.
The Grape Ape was definitely like that. The Death Star, the Girls Gone Wild, the Rainbow Driver, the Flow, Grape Glee, all was first season this year. The Flow is fantastic, man. No issues at all. Finished out great.
Our Death started insanely good in the greenhouse.
Death Star's
and-
still out there.
And neither one of you have it anymore, right?
No, we
I
do.
still no. I'm keeping mine. I'm gonna
Okay.
run outdoors this year. I'm gonna sneak up. I'm gonna stink up the neighborhood with it next year. It's really the only one I can smell out there. Open up my door, I can smell that one. I can't really smell the rest of the garden.
I can't wait to try some grape ape.
Yeah, man. They're, I mean, like this big around the colas still
Holy
giant.
shit.
I mean, yeah. It looks a lot different out there without all those that row of like grape ape plants gone. Now I just gotta start knocking down the sunflowers and shit. Hang some rosemary, get that all done. I got sunflower seeds preserved. So anybody wants some sunflower seeds?
Because you're going to run those exact same ones again because they work so well.
Yeah, I actually have them labeled like the tallest specifically. I kept those seeds separated. You know, there's a couple that look like just like prehistoric sunflowers. They have like these massive leaves, and the heads on them are like 24 inches, at least 18 to 20 inches in diameter. They were just really massive.
Hubcaps.
Yeah, so I kept those aside. Everything I kind of individually labeled, and one of them had these really, really long black seeds. I mean, long, like 1.5 inch long seeds, and they're really thin and narrow. And this other
Wow.
one had these little short, stout, stubby black seeds, but they're like girth was massive. It looked
Sounds like we're talking about
it's-
something completely different right now, right?
Well, we are, yeah.
Everybody
We're
just
talking
tuning in is
talking
going to be
about all
like,
these
what
sunflowers. I
the fuck?
apologize.
Right, I
There
need
goes
some
our
sunflower
monetization
seeds.
right there, folks. That's the moment she went away.
Yeah,
I gotta
so,
put a sunflower forest in front of the greenhouse next year.
yeah, I'm gonna hook
Dude,
you up with
they
a ton
got,
of seeds.
did you
for
say
it.
14 foot?
Yeah, at least. The one that I clocked was the tallest, was about 14 foot. Yeah, so I mean, pretty much what was on the seed pack. That was a second season bed. Those were all second season no-till beds. Next year there'll be third season no-till beds, so I'm expecting them to get taller. And I fucked them all up, man. I transplanted them all. I like 4 to a root start cube. And when I transplanted them, I like tore them apart. I damaged the roots. I stressed them out really bad. They stunted. They drooped as little baby starts. Had I have like did them correctly and did like 1 to a start and like really transplanted them carefully, I bet I could have got another 2 or 3 feet out of them, maybe more. Who knows? Fucking wild. But I tell you what, man, they work really, really well with co-planting.
Now, as a dumbass that doesn't know
They're
anything
great.
about like plants growing besides cannabis, I would wonder if those are adding anything to the soil or if they're taking something out of the soil that the other plants could be using. In other words, could you be starving the soil right there since they're right next to it?
I heard that the stalks are a good source of calcium, so I'm imagining that they're pulling a lot of calcium out of the soil. But then again, you can re-amend them back into the soil. You could
I'd have to
talk
think
about
you've got tons of
FPJ
calcium
them.
in the soil anyway.
Yeah,
think
and
so,
I'm
yeah.
also adding
Tons.
oyster shell and other stuff like that
Oh,
with my
shit,
no-till
you're
beds as
fine.
I need it. So, I mean, the decomposers go so fast, man. I can toss like a pile of grass and leave litter and whatever. Just I can chop up all kinds of weeds and shit and toss it on there, and it's gone within a week. And I have to add more. It's already bare soil, well, clay in my circumstance. But I mean, the organic material is just turning into what you want it to. Is all basically bacteria, microbes, and bug shit. It's all I want. I want worm and bug shit everywhere. Plants loved it so far. I'm not noticing like a huge difference between my Jack's grown and my no-till grown, like as far as like smell, flavor. Even when I smoked that Great Glee, it's just absolutely delicious. So
On most of my stuff, we haven't been able to tell a difference. So like the Mac 1 indoor, both my indoor, Spartan's indoor, and the outdoor all taste very, very similar. The outdoor is organic. My grow is synthetic. Spartan's grow is organic. But the sour melon tastes very different in the greenhouse than it does in the indoor, synthetic anyway. And I have the flowers next to each other. Mine are bigger and more dense, but the outdoor ones definitely have more terps and stuff. So it's very interesting. So it's very strain dependent, it seems, but there's something to it being different for sure.
I've always grown organic, man. I find you get really fucking sick terps. And I've been doing a lot more compost teas this time around, and that seems to really be like swelling up my buds more, getting them frostier, getting them stankier. So that's like my method.
Tell us your recipe.
So I've got 10-gallon pots with Kiss Organics biochar blend. I'm in a small apartment, so unfortunately I don't have room to make my own super soil right now. But yeah, I make compost teas every week with like earthworm castings and dry amendments, mostly down to earth. I use like neem seed meal, a lot of kelp meal,
Right on.
fishbone meal for that phosphorus and flour. I use insect frass, a little bit of molasses,
You say
oyster
alfalfa?
meal, crustacean meal. Yeah. I'm kind of like the chef on Sesame Street. I just derp like fucking
Right on, man.
throw
They
it in
dig
there.
it though, don't they?
Yeah, man. Well, mostly just you can't go wrong with earthworm castings and some good compost, bro. Like some
Yeah,
Holy
man.
Mountain Fish compost, top dress and teas. And I've been in the same 10-gallon pots for like 3 cycles now.
Right on.
Yeah.
I feed teas weekly too, so dig it.
Yeah, man. I'm loving it. I'm growing Orangegasm from Irie Genetics. Everybody was talking about it in chat earlier.
I think Spartan got some of that. One of these guys on this panel's got some of that Orangegasm.
Yeah, that's coming down the pipe next for me. I just popped 2 new genetics, so once I get through those and get ready to pop the next ones, Orangegasm's coming up next.
Everybody's growing that shit, dude. Right now, everybody's.
Right on, man.
That was the only thing was it's like
we're all just gonna be the next cup. We're all just gonna be passing around fucking Orangegasm.
I was almost not gonna grow it because of that. I was like, well, everybody's got it, so I'll get a cut from somebody. But then I was like, nah, I'm gonna grow it because I bought it, shit, So
Yeah.
I actually bought.
It's a great strain, dude.
I'm interested in the flavor of it because I love the orange stuff, but you knew that already. I smoked the trop cookies to start the show. Yeah,
Green
I'm
or
hoping
purple?
it's a bigger, the one that's behind my head, the purple one. I'm hoping it's a bigger version of a similarly tasting orange. But my OKC is kind of already that, so who knows?
Yeah, I was smoking on some of the Crescendo. Speaking of orange terps. Love it.
I just put Crescendo Auto flower seeds in the greenhouse. Hopefully
Nice.
those get big and similar to Crescendo because I love that strain a lot.
Now, did you start those indoors or did you start those directly in the greenhouse itself? And did you do anything different with them?
I put them right in the pots.
Okay.
Yeah. Let the earth do the thing. I just had to shoo away like a 10 billion beneficial mites and then put it right in there.
I've already got
Transplant
it's on the
shots.
path to
I
hippie.
like it.
Yeah, be
dude.
wearing some Birkenstocks.
Between me and Red, we're gonna fucking full sequence the full hippie within the next year, I would say.
Oh yeah,
Trying.
easy.
Those locks would be dreaded.
You
in
see
no
the
time.
hair? The hair's been growing out slowly but surely
dreaded.
with beads.
Get a nice glass artist to get you some glass beads for those locks for you.
My credit's going up, Red. I don't know. I don't know if I want to turn into a hippie now.
My daughter.
You get good credit. You don't have to worry about it no more.
My credit's really good, dude. At least for now.
For a minute.
Fair.
I look kind of hippie, don't I? I've got kind of a hippie thing going.
No.
I got the beard. It's natural, right?
Yep. But the beard is the end thing. So any guy that can grow a beard has a beard these days.
Yeah, but not this cool. I haven't seen one like this around. Seen a few. Not a lot.
But not a lot.
It's that ZZ Top.
It's hard to sport them good.
It's a good clip for Abolished if he were to make one. Just have a montage of stuff like that.
It's fun. It's funny.
All apropos of nothing. Just short, stupid shit.
Just out of context clips from the show.
That's what I'm saying. Man.
It's funny because I'll see older pictures of myself where it was like the different progressions as it gets longer and longer. And when, you know, I could remember back then, oh yeah, I was thinking I was looking great and stuff. And I look at him now and I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? So I'm sure, give me a year or give me 2 years, I might be clean shaven and I'll be looking back at myself thinking, what the fuck?
Yeah, ZZ Top and shit,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
MVGS is just a little bit younger than Spartan's beard. If you go back to Spartan's actual video
That's
podcast
true,
he
that's
did
true.
with us, go back and look at the link down then. Look at it now.
That's pretty cool.
Rap
Oh,
precision,
man, now I
keep your
can't-
emergency Mac one in your beard.
So now you're like
I thought he was
Samson with your beard.
No, you
Don't
should be
be
germinating
cutting your
beans
beard
in there,
now.
bro. It's like Rockwell.
That's how I like to say, that's how I smuggle my predators from work back home.
There you go.
Against it.
I had short hair when I joined the show. I was always wearing hats, but I didn't.
Now you
have-
got the flow.
I had a fresh haircut when I met you guys.
Now you have a man bun.
Yeah, it gets donated every like couple years. I've got a couple sent it in a couple times. I like to make wigs out of it for the kids,
Noise.
or like having someone else make wigs out of it.
Or having someone
You
else
too,
make wings
you
out of
too
it.
could have a red setter farm pelt on your head.
Children with hair loss
Say-
in the Detroit area is who I sent.
Check
it to.
our store for Red's hair dolls coming soon.
Voodoo dolls.
Patreons only.
Probably against some sort of rule, I'm sure, on the store side of things.
So what are you growing right now, Blacksail? Which plants have you got going?
So right now I've got Orange Gasm from Irie Genetics going on. Just popped a pack of 6 fem seeds, got 6 plants, and kind of did my seed run, pheno hunt, and I saved the biggest one and the frostiest one. So,
That was it the same one or was that 2 separate ones?
it was 2 different plants. Yeah, I've got.
Okay.
I wasn't quite sure which one I wanted to keep, and kind of had to make a decision. So, kept those 2.
It's hard when you're in a
Yeah.
small space, man.
Were they
Yes, bro. I'm in a room that is like meant to be like the extra room. It's 8 feet by 9 feet, and I've got a 4x8 and a 2x4 in there. So I'm like fucking walking around
Turning
sideways,
sideways.
stepping over water jugs and shit. Like,
Shuffle.
yeah, it's tight, man. It's tight. But I'm just really excited to be able to save a fucking plant and work with it again, and I'm experimenting with different types of cloning. Like I tried out my arrow cloner, and like I'm trying out the root riots. I think I'm using like Clone X Newts, but I haven't used the gel. I think I'm going to try some aloe next time. I did little scrapies on the last inch or whatever. But what I've found is that no matter what, the cuts that root fastest are the healthiest. Like after about a week, if it's got roots and I get it out of that tray or out of that dome and into some soil, it's going to be a fucking fast growing, healthy clone. But if it gets to like day 12 to 14, man, they all just start getting like yellow and gnarly and, So I don't know, man. Maybe aloe can help me get faster roots. Maybe I'll try the gel. I've heard that the gel, like they still find trace amounts of it in the final product. I try to keep it organic. So I don't know if anybody's got input on that, but yeah, I'm hoping aloe helps.
It has. I've
Aloe
used
will
aloe to actually just do it straight up. So I had the
Honey will
freeze-dried
work.
powder. Yeah,
Aloe
can-
work.
straight.
I've used the same bottle that I got at clearance at a Home Depot for like, I don't remember,
Take
$8
root.
or something. And it was in the garden section and it says garden safe on it. So I bought that shit. And I'm still using the same it's a powder.
What's the active ingredients?
Oh wait, I'll just read them off, or can you read them? Can you see them?
Some
Yeah,
kind
some
of
sort of
butyric
acid.
Yeah, butyric acid.
Probably
Other
one.
ingredients is in like all caps, so it's like
Yeah, it's I3 butyric acid. So yeah, IAA, I believe is what that is. And it says other ingredients 99.9%, which is probably like a talc powder or something because it's a white powder. So it's a 0.1% IAA.
works for you.
It's
I
been
used to
working for me
use-
for 5 years.
I used to use the purple Clonex, which I guess is a
Yeah.
Michigan product from what I understand, but I haven't used anything. I've used zero root hormones. I only snip, I drop in a little bit of water, and then I drop it in my cloner, which has a little bit of nutrient solution in it, about 200 ppms. That's it. I haven't used any rooting, and I get roots in about 6 to 10 days. 10 days to start getting little roots, and it's 100% success rate. It's the cloner, the cloner does a good job.
I use
oxycloner.
oxycloner. Yeah, man. Exactly.
I just
Cloner.
DWC it. That's it. Just an air stone and water. That's all.
Oh, you don't even use the water pump with the Venturi in it?
No, just air stone and water.
Yeah.
That's all extra electricity.
Shout out to Abolished Farms. I was over at his house. What day? I don't remember what day. Saturday was it? Sunday, whatever it was. And in his aquarium, he's got like a little piece of what do you call that stuff? Styrofoam, I guess you call it. Oh, it's not the white styrofoam that breaks apart. It's like the plasticky styrofoam. I don't know what you call it. But he just put holes in it, and he's put his clones in there, and it's floating on top of his fish tank, like conics. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, just get a clone collar.
Yeah, he's got the.
There's a way,
So that's going to be sweet to see if those root. You know what I mean? How quick they root, if they do root, how they do, if they start to grow real well, because they'll be like an aquatic situation. I mean, there's fish and everything swimming right underneath them. It was cool to see.
Sure think they would root.
Yeah, I would think so too. And the fish will keep the roots clean.
Yeah, man. They'll fish prune them.
See, I use an oxycloner and I use the permaclone recipe, which is a little bit of micro, a little bit of bloom, a little bit of Hormex, and a little bit of Res Clear. Run it for 7 days. Usually I get roots within 7 days, and then I dump that and use straight water. Makes the roots go looking for it. You can check all that out on Permaclone's website, or you can go watch the fellow Michigan grower and awesome dude in general. His Med Grower 1 has a lot of cool ass videos on YouTube about cloning with the oxycloner.
Abolished said he's got the nubs already come forming on the clones today, so that's cool. He's just gonna post a pic later.
See more aloe vera and on it there.
I was all geeked out. I don't know why. It was just so impressive to me. I was like, that is fucking awesome. I hate fucking, I don't know why. I don't like to eat fish. I don't like the smell of fish. But I can sit there and fucking appreciate what's going on there so much that I almost considering getting a fucking fish tank.
Seeing people's passion for things is
Not
like
clone with
infectious, right?
fish, he says.
I've heard, now, you know what it all started with is
Oh, yeah,
because
man.
he fucking dumped that goddamn fish shit sample into that one pot, guys. It goes all back to that.
Yeah.
He just wanted to
Because
replicate
it smells
that
so
since.
bad I didn't want to open that bottle twice. It poured the whole thing in the pot.
Wow.
That's a long time ago. That's the old
That's the
episode.
thing. He's got the whole thing going. He's got plants in his water that's helping filter. He's got algae going around his filter that's helping filter more than with the filter. You know what I mean? And so when you walk in there, there's fish tanks. There's plenty of fish tanks. Shit, there's probably 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 right there, and you don't smell fish at all. It's fucking nice, man. It's like it's an automatic. It's a whole ecosystem. You know what I mean? So to see that, how it's kind of, I'm sure he's got inputs and there's things he's got to do, but I mean, it looks as if that it's kind of at least one of his tanks is pretty much standalone, just doing its own thing, and that's where he's got his clones. And like, if you could have a cloner that's pretty much feeding itself, and you just drop them in there, and that's all you do, and you can actually sit there and watch the progression of the roots without opening anything or changing anything by just looking in your fish tank. It's super cool.
I'm just having trouble figuring him out. He says he's into like baby poop terps and stuff, but
Nice
then
tasting
fish shit is too much. Like, where's the line?
Guano Farms. Smash Cannabis says that you can use willow water as well, and what you're looking for in that is salicylic acid. Anything that has salicylic acid is going to help you with cloning.
And what they mean by willow water is you go to a willow tree and you find a branch that's about at least as big around as like your thumb or bigger. And it's going to be that new, real flexible growth. Cut that off, and you just cut it in like discs, and then throw those discs in your water and let them soak, and that's your willow water. That's how you make willow water.
You lost me at find a willow tree,
Dude,
man. There's
see, that's
no
why
Dude,
we
I
way.
got one in
he's-
my neighbor's backyard.
His country
Right.
definitely not fucking hippie, right?
Not dicing up no willow tree for willow water,
How
man.
the fuck?
Take a willow whipping.
Are you kidding me? Have you ever seen a willow tree, man? If you cut a fucking willow tree, it's just gonna grow into 2 willow trees, pretty much. You can't kill a fucking willow.
He's fucking dead.
Willow trees, they cut down the willow tree in my neighbor's yard, and I still get willow trees growing up in my yard if I don't mow my grass like every week, because the roots are shooting off.
They're gonna bust somebody's pipes.
It's like it refuses to fucking die. So I could get that material anytime I fucking want.
Yeah, I live in the middle of Denver, man. I don't know if there's a willow tree around here.
Yeah, probably not, but you could grow one.
Oh, you can grow one.
Fucking tree, just so you can cut it up for little pieces.
Hey, they said willow water. I want to just tell people how to make willow water.
That's cool. Spartan.
That
I
is.
was not. I would definitely was not knocking it, bro. I was. It is hash time, fellas.
Hash time.
Hash time.
I have gone to the store to get those big old. You can buy one big ass, aloe leaf or whatever, like Spanish grocery stores. I think usually had them. And then I would stick
Meyer
that
has
shit
them.
in my backpack, but it would be sticking up over the top of my head, like out the top of the back. Always fun.
So you look like a fucking shark coming down the road.
Yeah.
You gotta turn it sideways, dude. So it's like a fucking shark fin as you go down the road. It'll look fucking dope.
Dabbing on some Kush mints from Dab Smiths. I've spoke with him. Where he's gonna run some of our stuff in the greenhouse. I'm really excited about that.
Run it as what? DHO or are we talking?
Yeah.
And what's the final project you're looking for?
Probably diamonds.
Diamonds, nice.
Yeah.
Get some sauce too. Get those turps.
Yeah, diamonds and sauce. Yeah. It'd be just like that's why brought me up to it because this Kush mints is that consistency.
Smoking shit out of my trim tray as usual. But I did just clean it out, and I think the last thing I trimmed was some Max, so this probably blow my mind.
My favorite flower to smoke. Ever since we harvested the Mac from the greenhouse,
Mine too, man. I
I
love
find
this
myself
shit.
just reaching for it. It makes all like the aches go away in your shoulders and stuff when you're trimming and stuff. And my neck's really sore from constantly looking down and doing all that stuff. So Mac 1 is really the meds for me.
It's really narcotic for me too. So if I need to sleep, I love it for that too. I was just on growing with my fellow growers. I was just talking it up. Jack was asking me why I liked it so much because he's a Mac hater.
And
Yeah,
it's
we went into
bulletproof.
that on the late session, I think, wasn't it? Because Spartan says that he doesn't like to smoke that in the first hour with us. You know what I mean? He'll save it until he gets close to getting out of there. Because he's got to get up and usually go trim. So he's a warrior.
I believe the last time we were talking about the Mac 1, I was telling you guys I was going to put it in the flower, and you asked how tall it was. I told you about 18 inches.
Told you hell no.
Well, that was about, what, 3 weeks ago? It's about 19 inches now.
She's taking off, bro.
Yeah, man, she's making strides.
Gretchen.
But if you flowered it, it would be like 24 and a half inches, dude.
But in that 1 inch, she probably shot out 7 nodes.
Yeah, exactly.
I had trimmed down, so.
That's the
You have the right
superstar.
thing.
Or that's the supermodel in her right there. She just needs all that attention. You gotta clean her up all the time.
Yeah, boy.
The shot painted lady, she's got the same cut of Mac that I do, the same Mac 1 cut. She says she's 2 Mac 1 bowls in. It'll be night time soon. Yeah. That's what happens to me. I took it too long too, so this last one. So like when I saw when I
Oh
look
boy.
at the bud and look at the the trikes, I see, some ambers. So yeah, that's probably part of the narcotic. Shout out to Huron Cannabis Consultant. He's in chat. He says, "Hey Spartan, thanks for the help earlier. Thank you. You're welcome, man. I'm always happy to help when I can."
I would have to think that dispensaries in Denver have Mac 1 Cave Diver. I would have to think so. There's got to be a ton of dispos in Denver.
I would be surprised. I wouldn't think you're going to see a ton of it of Mac 1, only for the fact that it would be hard for me to believe that a commercial sized grow would dedicate the time that it takes to grow that out, to veg it out. You know what I mean? When you can grow something else, and unless it's a place where the market's so saturated that you have to stand out. Because I mean, in the Michigan market, they just want flower that passed testing that has anything higher than 20% THC in the past metric test, right. You're going to be able to get rid of it pretty damn quick. So why would you invest all that extra time vegging out a plant for what?
Right. Definitely.
Yeah, honestly, man, I don't even get dispensary flower. Most of it's really disappointing and overpriced. I find it's better just to grow organic, and my boys grow organic too. So, we smoke pretty fucking good. I will.
Dude.
I'll go to the apothecary to get extracts. They make really good batter. It's really nice and terpy, and it's a nice smooth hit. But that's only when I can't get like bubble hash, from one of my boys.
Yeah.
But for the most part, man, I find that dispensaries usually fucking suck. It was the same thing in San Francisco, man. There was there's 1,000 dispensaries in the city, and 2 of them are good.
Yeah,
that's generally the case. I mean, it's the same even here. I think most people would say. I heard a long time ago that the best flower never hits the shelves, and I would have to agree with that. Like, the best flower grown in Michigan is grown in small quantities by people that care a lot about it and put a lot of time into it and share it at tables with 10 of their friends, just like it is everywhere else. I'm sure that in Denver there's circles of people just the same that are connoisseurs and really care about the terps.
Or it becomes your head stash. You know what I mean? I appreciate the shit out of the way that you guys all share the Mac and stuff like that, but I realize what a time investment you have in it. So, that matters. And it's not like it's the highest yielding plant in the garden either.
So what's the deal with the Mac? It takes a long time to veg, but then if you get how long does it take to flower? And then what?
Flower time is the same.
It's about normal flower, yeah.
8-9 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually 9 is what I take mine. Usually, I think. But the difficulty of her is she's kind of a mutant plant, so her node spacing is super close together, and so you got to and she shoots out nodes all the time, so you have to constantly keep her cleaned up. Otherwise, you have a mess of fucking leaves every fucking where, and you have no airflow through the plant. It's also a little tricky to figure out. How do I say it? Watering, I guess. How much water she likes, because seems like she's always pissed off sometimes until you can really figure out how she likes watering. What I've done is I just sub-irrigate, so and that takes the watering issue away from me.
Yeah, it takes a long time to veg, and it doesn't stretch very much. And the buds stay fairly small, but they're really dense and they're really frosty, and the buzz is really, really good. Like I was just saying, all of the medicinal effects are incredible. So it's got its ups and its downs. It's definitely one of those plants.
And I noticed if you really do a good job with, especially organic growing, or you could even, I've seen it also when we even grew it at Mint-Canico, but we made sure to flush the shit out of it and, did it right. But you get this berry terp out of it that I'm just in love with. It's not like a super sweet one. It's like berries and then dank behind it, like that earthy, musky dankness behind it. For me, that's what I get out of it. And I just am in love with that terpene or whatever. I use it, in fact, to like mix with other weed to punch up the flavor a little bit too. That's how much I like the flavor of it.
Wild how much different ground up Mac feels than ground up other flour.
In what way?
It's like little pebbles almost versus like flour. It's very interesting.
And do you use it
Fat
medicinally?
calyxes.
Is that because of the density?
Yeah, I imagine it's because it's so dense. But it's cool. It's noticeably a different plant for sure. It makes itself stand out. You wouldn't ever
It's
have to label it.
super, yeah, and it's got like just a tremendous amount of the density to trichomes. It's just like it's hard to capture in picture, at least with a camera, with my phone anyway. But you walk into the grow room and you just look at the buds from a little distance away, and to me, they look almost fuzzy. It almost looks like there's a fuzz on your plant. You know what I mean? And then you instantly think the horror story of like spider mite or something. And you walk up close and you think, no, it's just a fucking shit ton of trikes all over the place. And I've tried many times to try to capture like that weird fuzz that you see, but I can't get it in a picture. So I can't explain it better than what I just did.
I'll try to get some good pictures of it one time with my camera.
Dude, it is not easy. Like I got kind of a decent beginner camera. I think it was a Nikon D5600. I got it like 4 months ago, and I still haven't quite like learned how to use it, but I'm almost there. But you have to like watch videos and shit, and there's like 5 different settings, and they all affect each other. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's complicated, man. Like trying to take what you see with your eyes, right? Like when you like you said, when you walk in the garden and you can see like this crazy fuzz, like to take that and get it onto my my Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
Really hard.
It takes
bro.
a lot of work, man. It's
Yeah.
like another passion of mine outside of growing is like the picture behind my head I took of one of my plants. It's really, really hard to do. Like
That's a
because
really sweet shot behind you, by the way. What is that?
Tropicana cookies. But that came from that same thing you said, was like wanting to take a picture of what I could see. And I was really frustrated that I couldn't do it because I was like, I can grow some really beautiful stuff and I can't show it to anybody because I can't replicate it on any sort of a picture. So now I have all sorts of equipment to do that. But I just finished building a computer so that I can render those pictures even faster. So more of those coming up.
Michael Hughes in chat asked me, do I use a moisture meter to monitor my living soil? And if so, which one? Thanks. I do not, because I don't top water or anything like that. I'm in a SIP situation, which just stands for a sub-irrigated planter. So it just wicks. It just the water wicks up, capillary reaction up to the plant. So it's always got the right amount of moisture. I just have to make sure that it always has, it's got water. If it goes dry, I have to put water in it. That's pretty much my watering. But if I were to look for one, I know Bluemont has got one that came out that does the M-bar readings, and that's probably the one I would go for if I was to look for a moisture meter. Just for you to have something to look into.
Beth's talking about wedding cake, getting me all excited about that clone I got. Mm-hmm. I was looking for wedding cake for a long time.
You let me know when you're ready to trim that, and I will not be there.
Roger, dude.
That stuff just drives my sinuses insane.
I'm really excited. My white wedding turned out to be an incredible plant, so shit, if it's anything like that, I'll be keeping that around.
Well,
So what was it about the white wedding that really made you chase this down? Was it a terp? Was it just...
The white wedding wasn't the first thing that made me chase it down because I just harvested that like very recently.
Right.
But stuff about it that makes me excited about wedding cake is like the size, the bud shape, the leaf to calyx like ratio. So there's not a lot of trimming to do, which is always great when you're growing plants and you want to have a life. And and it's really frosty. So definitely really excited to potentially get it tested, maybe after my second run of it or something like that. Maybe get it dialed in a little bit and see how I do. But yeah, the white wedding is wedding cake crossed with mandarin cookies. So it should have a lot of similarities to the wedding cake, but also some differences too.
I think big yielder too, dude. So that will be a happy thing for you also. Big dense buds. You should be all right.
Oh yeah, when I got to trim, I'll call you, dude.
It's cool to catch it in its undiluted form. You know what I mean? If that's the side of the cross that's kicking your ass, you're like, man, this is fire. Go back to where it came from. You know, just like who was it that had those chem dog seeds, or the cross, or what was it?
Baked has got the Chem Dog.
Okay.
Chem 91 crossed with Chem D.
That's the one.
Very excited to pop those for sure. There's a lot of stuff.
I got a chem. What was the other one? It's archive face off. That's what it is. Chem face off. Hazmat OG. That's what it is. Getting ready to go into flower soon. It's really sedating though. Like slapping the face, knock you out real quick.
That's good medicine for patients, man.
Excellent pain medicine. Yeah. Like take like 2 hits off a joint, dude, and things like out.
You know, I grew a plant one time and I didn't take a cut of it. It was the Limarilla.
Dude, I'm really excited.
Shout out to Brandon on that one.
I'm excited. That's Limarilla times the lime 1 backcross. So that's awesome. He also sent me the Purple Kush times MK Ultra, F5 MK Ultra.
I like MK Ultras as well.
Then how about this? The original glue hit with his that VX line. So that's pretty awesome. And then these are, I think, what was it? The TK
Yeah.
I think.
Triangle Kush.
Yeah,
And that
Triangle
lime.
Kush with that glue, yeah.
That one could be the sleeper right there.
It's like, how do you pick which one of those to grow, though? I have all those same packs.
I say Limarilla. There's never enough lime terps, man.
I'm gonna do this one first.
Yeah, man.
After Orange Gasm, I'm gonna do this one because it's green, and I'm into green, and I'm into Gorilla Glue. So lime plus Gorilla Glue and green. That's me. And then I'm going to MK Ultra because MK Ultra super intrigues me. And then I'm going back to whatever this one was, Triangle Kush. But that scares me because there wasn't that triangle in wedding cake, and that's what gives me all the sinus issues. So I don't know, I'll have to research that before I decide on that. And then this original glue with I'll hit them all. I don't think I got anything in the vault that I want to run more right now.
Red's got that lime right now.
Triangle Cushion, Animal Vince's wedding cake.
The Citrique is the lime that I pick up right now.
So maybe I'll leave that triangle to the last.
Yeah, I got a lot of clones of that corner right now. I'm gonna try to run a lot of the Citrique. I gotta learn to run it. I need to veg it more, get it bigger. Stays really short.
Is it a slow vegger?
No, not necessarily. Just
Well, he's got no lights too, so
it doesn't it doesn't stretch very much. And my lights are strapped to the ceiling. My double ends are they're not on ratchets or anything. They're just up on the ceiling. Because I grow all my plants, 6-7 feet tall. And the Citriques just, I don't know if I can get them 6-7 feet tall. They just they're more like the grape apes. And they'll get maybe 4 feet tall. So I just have to try to veg them more, maybe.
He's an idiot one.
A little bit bigger.
You want to pop one of these packs, Red?
Dude, I have so many packs to pop.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can try for another lime. That's like the GG4 crossed with the lime.
I have the archive Tahiti lime I want to get into. Dude, I have so many packs I have to pop. I got to get into it, or else I'm wasting money.
It's just so hard because this week I have some new plants going. I got 2 of the blueberry sunsets, and I have one of the blue dreams came up, and I was at the point where I was like, you know what? If this doesn't germ, what pack am I going to grab next? And I just couldn't make up my mind what I wanted. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go with like the Medgrower one, the garlic punch, or if I wanted to go with Silver Squirrel Farms and the it's called Silver Squirrel, which is a Super Silver Haze cross. And it's just, you know, we get all this fire and you can't run everything. It's just, everybody's got that problem. If you've got more than 2 packs of seeds and only one spot to fill.
Shout out to Medical Mondays podcast, man. They're cracking me up. They said there's an FBI list of different names for different drugs. And Lime Pillows, they said, is an acronym for weed. Lime Pillows? What's up?
Has anyone ever heard that one before? Lime pillows?
I have not heard that shit ever.
Just not hip then. Cheers, Medical Mondays.
No.
I'm not in the right circles, I guess.
I know, man. We're with squares.
Squares.
Look at those bong rips. Damn, Spartan. Smoking
After
after
it. Getting after it.
I think Shredder had an unlucky pack of Primal Punch. Didn't get a girl in a pack.
Ouch.
It does happen. It's genetics, though, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really the breeder's fault. They didn't just sit there and say, I'm going to throw nothing but male beans in this one random ass pack to fuck somebody.
No, I know. They don't know what the sex is, but how many beans were in each pack? Was it 10 packs, the production packs, or were they 6? Because I know that the
Tester
sample
was
packs
like
that I
5.
had were like 6, yeah.
Yeah, my F1s were 6 packs.
Go see if I can grab this plant in the 1 gallon. I think it's 1 gallon. It might be in a solo cup.
That's the final one right there.
Nice.
Yeah, man. That's the F2.
But I got out of the cuvee, I got one really like new looking plant. I want to show you guys, see what you think.
I'm really excited about the cuvee.
I never got to smoke it, man.
Me neither, but I know that Spartan has the real seeds, you know, so that's really cool. So we will
I
get
just
to
harvested a deluxe sugar cane that is pretty remarkable. I'll be showing you guys some pictures of that here next few days. Through golf ball nose.
This is like a normal one. These are the ones that are looking fine. All the other 3 look like this.
It's looking pretty good.
What I expect, fat indica looking, you know, beautiful looking plant. Now, hold on. Now look at this. This is the one oddball. Wrinkled leaf.
Yeah.
Struggling with some like kind of a nutrient burn or something. Like she doesn't like any nutrient. I haven't given it anything but water.
It's got the weird runty one.
I was thinking pest, but it came from seed and it's got IPM. So
It's right next to the other ones.
yeah, right next to the other ones. Everything, those look beautiful. So yeah, it's really strange, but I'm gonna keep my eye on this. I'm gonna clone it, and hopefully it's a female, and it might be something crazy, weird, good. Who knows?
It could become known as the velvet leaf, you know, crinkle cut fucking cuvee.
Yeah, something strange. But
I
yeah,
mean, that may be the unique trait of it, and it might be really good still.
but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look healthy to me, so I've been keeping it kind of a little bit away, you know. So I just making sure it's not touching my other plants, and that I don't touch it, because it does worry me that there might be a virus or maybe an unknown pest of some sort. But I've looked at it and stuff with scope, and I don't see anything. So I don't know.
Yeah. Rad Daddy in the chat says it looks like it might be viral or something. I kind of agree. It kind of looks weird.
Viral, yeah, it could be. Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure I don't touch it and try to cross-contaminate into other plants. But the thing that was really strange to me was how everything else around it was completely fine, beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And in the same soil.
In the same exact soil. Yeah, the soil came out of the exact same bag.
Yeah.
Genetics.
Well, them other ones were beautiful looking plants.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree, man. I really like the way it's looking. It's looking like an indica to me.
Yeah,
Barton
those
Rick Wolf in the chat asks, why do you use clear cups?
So I used I put them in clear cups, and then I put those clear cups into a solid colored cup that you can't see through. The reason for that is so I can watch the progression of the roots. It also can let me know watering. I can look and see, oh yeah, there's still water in there. The bottom's still got water. The top's dry, but the bottom's still got water. It's really cool to be able to watch the roots, and I love to do that. So that's why I do it.
I do the same thing with the clear cups, and I do it to check out the roots. Just through that.
Now I do that on seeds, but not clones that I put in 2 solo cups. Does that make sense? I'll put solo or clones into just red cups, and then seeds I'll put into the clear to watch the root develop.
Is there any reason why you do them differently?
I figure by the time I put the clones in there, I already know that there's a big old root mass already. I just wait for it to poke out the bottom holes that I put in a solo cup or whatever. I usually put it in a solo cup just to slow down the growth. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put that clone into a 1 gallon pot. My veg would be crazy trying to run so many strains. So solo cups is the way to go for me.
I guess I'll give Easy Swap Pots a shout out. Shout out to Easy Swap Pots. That's what I use right when I go the half gallon from clone and for my seedlings. I just use the little half gallon pots. I can fit 8 of them in a 10-20 tray.
Right now, my mid-sized veg plants are all in 1 gallons. Before I'll stick them in 3s before they go into flower.
And how are you watering those?
They're all automated right now on those Netafim sprayers. Just got a bunch of sprayers all over the place. It's sweet. It's like a Frankenstein's laboratory going on in there.
Seven in chat saying he's thinking that russet mites could cause that leaf damage or that leaf crinkle. I always thought it was like that. Good point. I'm gonna, when I do the transplant, I'll just do another dunk in sulfur and eliminate that. It would be a possibility. It'll fry them if they're there, but I've scoped it and I haven't seen anything. But maybe russets are pretty damn small.
So if you wanted to do a soak yourself, you would take like a 5 gallon bucket, and then like how much?
Nah, that's a small plant. That's a small plant, man. I mean, I'd do that in a pitcher. I could just dunk it in a pitcher, maybe a half a gallon or something. Maybe mix up a half a gallon. I'd be really surprised if it was a russet mite because I don't have any other plant, and that was from seed. But I'm not saying it's impossible.
How much sulfur should I use for that pitcher?
So I usually do for my small plants, I usually do a tablespoon per gallon. So I would half that for a half gallon. A pitcher is usually about a half gallon. I wouldn't fill a pitcher all the way to the top. That's usually a gallon. So most pitchers is usually half gallon is half a pitcher. And but anyhow, if you're using a half gallon of water, use a half a tablespoon of wettable sulfur. If you're, make sure to look to see if there's a surfactant or not included in your wettable sulfur.
That's my next question.
Has it in there already, so I don't do anything else. If it didn't have it in there, I have a big bottle that I got at Sam's of Dawn liquid dish soap. I would just put like a drop of that in there, in that half gallon. And that would work for the surfactant. Mix it up. And when you're spraying this stuff, maybe every plant or every few seconds or whatever, make sure you mix it up because this stuff is like chalky, a lot of particulate, and you really want to have to keep agitating it to keep it dissolved in the water.
If you're going to use a surfactant and you don't want to use Dawn, I bought some Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. Like you can get it at Meyer or whatever, and you can get it with like peppermint. So since I use it as part of my IPM as well, I just use 1 drop of that Castile soap in there and rock and roll with it.
Somebody also said in here, I was trying to, man, I missed it. I'm trying to find it again. Ready Daddy saying he's suggesting to keep the root ball expanding, let it go semi-dry, and cut it out of the cup. I disagree. As soon as you let it dry out, your roots are going to get a lot of oxygen, and then they're going to start to root. They're going to start to air prune, dry out. So, especially in a living soil situation where I'm going to be transplanting into that, I want it to be used to the same environment. So I like to try to leave a moisture, a consistent moisture level in my medium, even at the clone stage. I don't like to make changes. These are living things, so the least amount of changes they have to adapt to, the more they can just concentrate on growing.
I mean, I can definitely agree with that. You don't want to stunt your plant at any cost. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they're not going to bounce back, and you have to grow them out. Seriously, you could reclaim it eventually, but you're going to want to probably take a cut off of that withery ass plant that you've been fucking with, and then try to get a good cut off of that and rock and roll. It's better than dragging it through the whole process, and it's never going to yield what you want. It's just going to piss you off. And it's going to be the first thing that's like the canary in the coal mine that can start spreading some crazy shit in your flower garden if you have more than one plant.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Raptor says that he has burned it with Dr. Bronner's peppermint. There you go. Your mileage may vary.
And you can, just a cheap, the poor man's or the cheap home grow, whatever you want to call it, just a little bit of, like I was telling you, that Dawn's dish soap, man. I'm telling you, just like a drop in a gallon even, and spray that out of the plant. And that's going to fuck up a lot of just at least the soft body. It's just your basic insecticidal soap on the cheap. And it's, if nothing else, it's going to keep debris, dust, and things.
Yeah.
The leaves. Those are your solar panels. You know what I mean? And the plants love the fucking moisture, dude. As long as you have control of your environment and you're not worried about, I'm not saying if you have 90% humidity in your room, don't go spraying it, obviously. But, other than that, the plant really loves to have just water sprayed on it, I find.
Yeah. Raptor was just emphasizing to use the unscented Dr. Bronner's instead of the scented stuff because the peppermint had burned plants before. In addition to, of course, the Dawn.
But Spartan was right. If you look at the really fine writing on the inside, when you open up the sulfur, most of them do have a surfactant in them that you're going to find for $7-8.
Yeah, you're going to get a whole bag of it. It's going to last for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with just the water thing. I'll spray with just, especially in the wintertime when the humidity is really low. I'll do it daily, but I'll get accelerated growth. You hit them with a little bit of water and they love it. And just boost up it's like getting rained on. You wash them
water
off.
and CalMag.
Yeah, you dust them off a little bit.
Calcium, sure. Yeah. Calcium
I used when I did use CalMag, I would foliar feed CalMag.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I don't foliar any. I've never foliared.
So there's nitrogen in most CalMags, and that's why you're getting that green up real quick. You foliar with CalMag because of the nitrogen.
You do have some salt.
It's similar to a rain outside, though, because when water falls through the atmosphere, that's 70% nitrogen. It picks some of that up. That's why your grass gets greener.
Makes sense.
To use Clackamas Coots kelp meal foliar recipe. It's pretty much the only thing I foliar.
And what is that recipe?
Shit, man, I couldn't tell it to you exactly. You can Google it though.
Secret Clackamas recipe.
So
Yeah,
Clackamas Coot is he's kind of went dark on social media. People have asked me this today, so it's fresh in my mind. But he's not like missing or hurt or gone or any of those things. He's alive and well. He's working on a book. He's got a webpage up. So go to clackamascoot.com for all things Clackamas Coot. If you're thinking of or wondering about him, just go there. He's got a blog and he's got everything going on there.
Good tip, Spartan. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering that information right there.
There's a lot of good stuff on that webpage too. Like he's got like his recipes and things like that. So I have to actually kick my own butt to get over there and read through more of it. I'm barely even begun on that webpage. So yeah, there's a lot there to go through.
Did you start using that gnarly barley yet? I think that's
Yeah,
it's called, right?
that's yeah. I think I can't remember if I did. I think I shared the video of my hemp cover crop that's growing in my flower room right now, because in that gnarly barley there's hemp seed, and some of it's sprouted. So apparently it's not all sprouted. That's that's in there. Let them get so big, and then when they have a couple sets of leaves, I just snap them off and then eat them. They're really spicy, like peppery. It's like a hemp microgreen. But yeah, I'm letting like a few grow, just see what they'll do. But I don't know. I think it's cool. When you snap them off like that, what's left in the rest of the plant's going to shoot through those roots like root exudates. The roots that are there are just going to be microbe food. So, and so is the stalk that falls down. So it's all cool stuff. Nothing to be mad about. Talk about sprouted. I waited to sprout it in the actual ground instead of waiting to get it sprouted and blend it and put it on.
Wild to see the capillary action in the stalks of the plants we've cut down, because we're still watering the living soil pots.
Oh, you see like the bubbling up of it.
Oh yeah, there's just water basically just pouring out of the stems because the stalk's like as big around as a baseball bat.
It tells you how quick it's filling your plant, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You would never think that it distributes itself that quickly throughout the plant.
That stuff tastes like shit. I tried that sap. That sap tastes so gross. It's so bitter.
So you.
I don't recommend it.
I don't recommend it, he says.
I'll eat leaves all day, but I don't like the sap.
Peppery.
Thanks for the tip, Fred.
Sure, there's some. I'm sure it has some medicinal value to it. I'm sure it's got some good in it.
I wonder why it tastes bad.
Chlorophyll.
No, it's all like white and
CalMag.
bubbly. It's pretty much water.
It is white and bubbly.
Water. It's nasty. It's all
So
CalMag.
funny. It's all CalMag all the way down, dude.
I just imagine there's just got to be a bunch of bacteria eating that shit. So it gets off. If you let it just go, it kind of just forms over like this, I don't know, cap, and it just starts to break down.
I think there's a lot of calcium in it or something because it tends to calcify.
Yeah.
It's all white.
Yeah, like that cap. Yeah. I suppose it could be, but it's I don't know. You'd have to see it. It's kind of weird looking.
Send it to the lab.
Wheatus says it's the trace elements.
I thought that was the sparkler effect when you lit it.
Maybe the minerals are accumulated.
We haven't had the sparkler effect on any of our flower, indoor or outdoor, and forever. Actually, I've never done it. I've grown some really
But
bad.
People
flower.
know what that means.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it means that you're burning spider mites. I think that's what that is.
Popping carcasses.
Yeah. I think that's what the sparking comes from.
PG. Grow on.
Called
It was like
Mike.
I thought it was if you ground up seeds, it would like snap and crackle and shit.
Yeah, definitely you'll have that.
That's the
Or if you get a whole seed,
old school weed.
Yeah, if you get a
Seeds will
whole
burn
seed in
holes
there,
in your clothing. That's
yeah,
what
if you get a
they'll do.
whole seed in there, they pop. Holy shit! Watch out.
Seed pops and burns a hole in your clothing.
That was the worst, man. That brick weed, if you didn't get all the seeds out, one went off. Bam. Then it would like smell like shit. Like the next hit would taste like shit.
It wasn't getting any better.
That's a tough hit too. Yeah.
And everybody would
Gotta get
announce it.
through it.
There's a seed.
Yeah. It's like, oh, seed.
Like, yeah, no
Like,
shit.
fuck.
It smells so bad, man.
So
Oh,
Then,
Blacksail.
dude, I already pulled 2. That one joint I rolled of grape glee, of wet grape glee, I already pulled 2 seeds out of. So I know there's going to be a lot.
So Black
You have a
Sail,
bomb go off?
Chat's asking for an update on your LED lighting front. I know you went over it again earlier, but
Oh, do it again.
could go over it again for us real quick. That'd be really cool.
Well, I mean, I've got
stuff you said you
the
didn't want to talk about. That's the stuff you didn't like to talk about. Is that what you said you wanted to go over?
yeah.
Again?
No, it's all good, man. I mean, I've got the 320 watt Canon as always, bro. So that's just like a really powerful, affordable LED light, and I build them all by hand, so they're really fucking reliable. But yeah, man, and then I've also got a new light that should probably be available like around March. And that's going to be like a really low profile, flat, like board style light, because the Canon's just too big for small spaces. So with this new light, I feel like pretty much any home grower setup I've got covered. But yeah, man, I would shoot for like 900 plus ppfd, which is gonna just it's a really bright light. It's like in the neighborhood of having like 1,000 watt single-ended HPS in a 4x4, like just to give you an idea of the kind of like intensity that I try to shoot for. Because that's what's going to get the fucking job done, is just a really high intensity, high efficiency, full spectrum light. So that's what the board's going to be about. It's going to be a ton of mid-power Samsung diodes, like 432 of them on the board. So it's going to get 2.3 micromoles per joule, and it's going to be a 150 watt fixture, and it's going to be about $1.66 per watt. So I think those are some really fucking solid specs. I think I can stand up to pretty much any LED grow light company in the world with those specs and prices. So yeah, man, I'm really stoked about it. But in the meantime, buy a Canon.
It's really exciting to hear, the development stuff and, having you talk about it on our show for the people. Mr. Manady says, thanks, man. I'm looking to cover a couple more 5x10s. So yeah, we appreciate that information very much.
Yeah, and those are solid prices, man, per watt, for real.
Yeah.
For a pre-built fixture, man, that's legit.
Well, plus like the modular kind of design. If you look at like, I'm not big on lighting. I can't tell you all the tech. That's like beyond all me. I just never got into it. But if you
said you're rocking double-ended HPS, right?
Yeah, at work we are, but at home I'm all LED.
Oh.
At work we've hit 3.3 pounds per light too.
Yeah.
Double-ended HPS. But yeah, so at home I'm all LED though, and just the look of the designs of the way LED's going, everything's kind of the more spread out, flat design as well. It looks like a lot of the designs going, and I think it's cool that they're addressing the home grower for that reason, because that's my struggle at home. Constant struggles. I wish I had more height, always. So that gives me more height by giving me a shorter light. So that's cool. I like that. How it's like I could fit. It's a 2x2 area, so I can fit one over each plant. So it's its own light. I can set to a perfect height. I like that about it too.
Yeah, I think having smaller lights is nicer because everyone's grow space is a different space. Like, not everyone has a 4x4 or a 5x5. Some people might have a 2x3 space or whatever. And they got to figure it out, or a one plant space.
Sure.
Makes it modular.
Yeah, helps a lot for that sort of situation for sure.
So that's kind of the thing. That's where the market is headed, and I guess like that's where I lose a lot of customers, is that I don't have like a light for small spaces. But that seems to be where it's at, something modular like that. I thought, dude, Spartan, I built the Canon for like guys like you, man, like, because I feel like there's a lot of people that are still growing with HPS and even like metal halide, and I wanted to build an LED that would work more like an HID light. Something that's sitting like 20 to 24 inches above the canopy and is like covering its own little area and like is modular.
Dude, ours are fucking
more like an HPS.
Ours are probably 3 to 4 feet above canopy, maybe more.
Yeah.
Those double endeds just fucking kick intensity.
Yeah, that's where mine are.
We only have at 1,000 watt. They're not even what do you call it, supercharged or overclocked. They're just at 1,000 watts, and still
Yeah.
it rocks.
Red, what's your canopy distance
Gonna
with the
upgrade
old
eventually.
lights? With the double endeds?
I didn't hear what you're saying. Somebody asked me a question in chat, so go ahead.
I was asking Red because Red uses double-ended lights
Oh,
too.
sorry,
What's
I
the
didn't hear you
distance?
either.
What's the distance
Like-
of your light to your canopy with those?
It's a 48-inch recommendation, but I keep it at between. Mine's a little bit more than that, about 60 inches or so. I keep it about 5-6 feet away.
Wow, that is a lot of fucking space. But
It's not intentional. It's not
I guess
intentional.
you like this.
It
Yeah.
just depends on the terrain. Usually, it's just it's just because they're buckled to the ceiling.
I get a nice even spread though.
Lower them. My canopy stretches wall to wall. I can't get ladders in there. I can't do shit. Even ratchets, anything. Like if I lower them, I can't. You can raise them with ratchets, but then I can't lower them back down or anything like that. Like
You need an old school pulley
I
system.
don't even mess with it.
You need a lifting. You need a
Holy
lifting
different way, dude.
I grow
Just-
my plants big enough to where I don't have to mess with it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
sure.
Fill out my trellis system. That's the idea. So if I'm not filling out the trellis, I either get different genetics and work with those, or I work with different genetics, or I didn't grow them big enough.
Right, veg them longer.
We've all done weird stuff, man. I used to use milk crates, and I would move the plant up and down rather than trying to move my 2 HPS lights I had for the space.
Yeah,
So I would have like 8 plants
stuck them on
flowering. So
buckets.
yeah,
Sometimes
buckets,
stick them up
whatever
on
you
buckets
do,
or something.
sure.
Yeah.
you got to do what works for you until the budget's right, and then you make your moves.
Yeah, I mean, even still, like even with the budget, that's all just extra stuff that I don't even want to spend money and get extra resources for. It's not necessary. I just keep everything buckled to the ceiling, and I'm gonna manipulate my growth style to adhere to that. I don't need extra equipment. You know what I mean?
Ooh, I need to do like a 5-second PSA. This is your PSA to realize that storm season is coming wherever you live. And this is your reminder to look into some kind of generator system to keep yourself lit when the lights go out.
That shit happens, man.
And now back to our regular scheduled programming, guys.
And I agree with Red. I mean, you got to find reasons to kick plants anyway. Otherwise, you're never going to pop any seeds anyway. So
Stuck.
you might as well say, hey, you got to all be this high or you cannot ride this ride. You might as well have that as one of your parameters.
You sound like you're driving like a 1977 purple Chevy van with like some
Yeah,
star windows cut in the side.
There's fuzzy dice and there's fur on
Carpet
the,
on the walls
on
and
the
the ceiling.
ceiling. Oh, yeah.
Man, for sure.
Yeah, my
Old
idea
man
is
had one
definitely
of
to
those.
get
Smells
away
like
with
shit
doing
in there from all the smoke.
minimalistic as possible. Like I want to be able to have the best product
Every
at
show.
the lowest price and the minimal. I don't want to have too much equipment, or the equipment that I want to be able to put into. I want to be able to put my money in the right areas. Oh,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
you know what I mean?
Your highest leverage moves, man.
That's why my rooms are well insulated and air conditioned, and everything else is dialed in.
Got a
Sequence
dream
weed,
of
man.
I've got a
I'm
dream
afraid
of
of-
a show
I'm afraid of
VW
burping
bus.
rooms. Like they're so sealed up. I don't even want my own exudates in those rooms. You know what I mean?
Streamlabs shut down Blacksail. Sorry about that, brother.
No, it's okay, man. I don't mean to be like trying to have a fucking
No, I got you. I put it on
sales conference in your chat. It's just people keep asking me for the link. So I'm like,
Yeah.
blacksailmarket.com, blacksailmarket.com. Hit me up, Keith at blacksailmarket.com. But yeah,
Autobot.
do hit me up.
Autobot shut you down.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll get you that on
I made you a mod, so it won't do it anymore, but I put
There
the
you
link up there for you.
right on.
Get it.
Sorry about that.
Good times.
But yeah, man, they sound like really high-powered cobs that throw down some light to the canopy, man. If you're looking for good penetration, huh?
Yeah, that's the idea, man. I mean, the cannons get 2.0 micromoles per joule, and depending
Are they-
on how many you buy, the price is like around 105 to $1.25 per watt.
What
So
What space are they? What's their footprint? Are they a similar footprint or a bigger? I imagine big.
Yeah, so I usually recommend two of them in a 4x4. That's 640 watts. That's about my 1,000-watt HPS equivalent. It's going to put you, I think, 917 ppfd. So you should really be getting maximum growth rates and yields. Sorry, what was the question? I'm high.
Oh, that was it. That was it. I was
That's
just
it,
wondering
man.
how many lights I'd need in a 4x4. Two.
Two.
You covered it.
Cool, man.
Yep.
Are your
And,
drivers
the
remote
height.
off
What's
your
the
Canon?
height? Like,
Yeah,
what's the height?
so there's the heat sink itself, which is like a cylinder and it's about 9 inches tall. The cob's on the bottom. It's a bare cob, so it's got a really wide spread. And then mounted on the top of the heat sink, there's like a box, like a metal box with a loop on it. So you clip the ratchet hanger onto that loop so you can raise and lower the light really easily. And then inside that box, you can mount the driver if you want to put it in there. Or I give you 6 feet of wire between the driver and the heatsink, so you can just run the driver remotely.
Yeah, I like that. I like
Yeah,
that. That controls a lot of heat issues and stuff I've found.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's
Yeah,
cool.
man.
That's a good option, man. I just wanted to touch base on it. So,
yeah, no, it's the little things like that that I feel like kind of sets me apart from other lights. I think they're a little bit more grower friendly. That's kind of been like my mindset.
oh yeah, man.
And it's going to be the same thing with my other lights. All the lights I build are always going to have a remote driver.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big.
It's
plus.
super cool, especially for your new ones that are going to be thinner, because then you could really get them really high up because that driver's not there anymore. It's super cool.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. The cool thing is, if you need the last extra few inches, you can just take the poles that are running along the top of your tent and just run them through the driver mount, so the light's basically like flush mounted up there.
Hell yeah. That's cool as fuck.
And then with the boards, I'm gonna have a hanging kit. Like it's gonna have like eye hole bolts on the corners, and then it'll have carabiner clips with metal steel wire running between them.
Yeah. Okay.
And you could just run those over the top of your tent pole and have like the light would be like 1 inch high, and it would be completely flush mounted to the top of the tent.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Yeah, could be cool.
Just put a fan. Let's put a fan on it just in case. That would be dope.
Yeah, I would point a fan at it for sure. Or it's a cool trick to have your heat sinks just sitting right up next to your carbon filter.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
Yeah,
like
never
active
thought of
cooling.
that either. That's cool. Good idea.
Yeah.
Pro tip there.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
It does. Because I actually have to have fans blowing on my 600 plus watt drivers, runs. So keep it cool.
So in my tent, I have a box fan, and then 2 lights, and then my carbon filter, and the exhaust. And it's just like, it's just beautiful. It just pulls all that shit and blows it all right out the tent.
Great idea, man. Great ideas.
Just like that, we're coming up right towards the end of the show here. Before we do get out of here, I do want to take a second to remind everybody about the crossover shows that will be happening tomorrow. And that's going to be with Sequence, Red, and myself will be on Medical Mondays. That show airs on the Medical Mondays podcast YouTube channel. Comes on at 9 p.m. and they run until 11 p.m. And so we're going to join them at 10 p.m. on their show, and that they're going to join us afterwards on the late sesh, which is coming on as always at 11 p.m. And we're going to run until 1. They'll stay until midnight. So I think it's a nice way, they are in Michigan just like we are. And I've always kind of preached to Sequence about how cool it is to have met so many awesome people doing this. And so it's really nice to network with other people. So that's cheers to Berg and to Roche. So everybody check that out tomorrow.
I will be there, man. I'm excited. It's kind of one of the things that we've always tried to do is kind of bring more and more people together and
Plug in.
like, yeah, join these communities. So excited to do that again tomorrow. See how that goes.
Yeah, I'm
Cool to
excited
see
for
him
it, too.
popping into our chats and stuff.
It was cool. Their show, their last show, I didn't know anything about them until you guys started talking about them and their YouTube show. And it was really cool. I actually made a comment on their video too. Subscribe to them, but I didn't get to watch the whole thing. It was kind of a long one, but they were talking about being judges for the Cannabis Cup and how they took it seriously, and they really they understood that the growers took a long time to grow it, so they wanted to do it justice and were taking all kinds of notes and critiques. And I just told them, I said, they really warmed my heart to see that, because you're right. You know, we're trying our best. You know, we're submitting this to a cup. You know, and to see that some judges are taking it serious when, you know, the first thing in your mind is that nobody's taking it serious. It's really cool to see those people out there doing it right. And I don't, you know, shout out to I'll throw Abolished in there too. I know he does too, because he's talked about it before. So I just think that's really cool.
I just want to say, to follow up with that one of the coolest things that I've been able to do was the judging event that we did at Nutrient Shootout's house when we had the 2020 Mendocino Grow Off. And so it was a table with me and Red and Spartan and Canicate. And Sequence was the official pipe washer and setter upper. And
I was wondering how he was going to name that.
Setter upper, dude. It was so seamless. It
Pipe
was so
washer.
perfectly done.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of the water boy.
Bowl rubber.
Pipe
No,
washer.
it was the one great thing is that since he wasn't actually judging with us, he's the one that took the samples from everybody. So even though he assigned the number or the letters to them, we didn't know what they were. He may have known what they were, but so it was truly a blind judging. And I got to tell you that all three judges, they are awesome, because they were mentioning things about it that I hadn't noticed yet, or they would put their finger on like a particular, like the really strawberry on this one, or there's like a weird oak flavor in this. And, you know, it just helped me appreciate the smoke even better. So I thought it was like a win-win-win situation. So cheers to everybody that was involved with that, and to 2020 Mendocino.
Yeah, man, that's probably the coolest thing we've done so far as being a show goes. Hopefully we'll be able to do something as big or bigger, of course. We're a bigger show now than we were then, but maybe once all this stuff settles down, very excited. Yeah, well, hopefully we can do some sort of big thing next summer. I like the idea of doing the events outdoors. It's been more fun, for sure.
Well, the first event next year will be the Hash Bash.
I'll be at Hash Bash for sure.
They're threatening. I don't know if you were watching the news today. They're trying to shut her all down again. So I don't know.
Next year's Hash Bash.
Yeah.
Governor shut down the state itself. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hopefully, all this nonsense is. Well, I don't want to call it nonsense. All this virus crap is done and gone, and it dies off, and we get past it, and it's not a threat anymore, and we can go back to living. That'd be fucking awesome.
I'd just like to go back to Hash Bash. That's all.
Me too. Well, that's my living. That's what I mean.
Hash Bash coming to my side of town.
Hash Bash come back.
And Jack said he's coming out if they have it. So I really want to meet Jack Greenstone.
Yeah, I get it.
Me too, man.
For sure.
So hopefully we can make that happen.
Shout out Jack Greenstone.
All right.
Catch us on the replay.
Hopefully there's a Hash Bash, because we hope to meet all of you guys at Hash Bash.
For sure.
But
For sure.
Panel, let's go around the horn really quick. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm going to just say Dankman Dan on Instagram, Spartan Grown on Instagram. Thank you guys. Red Setter Farm on Instagram. Thank you, sir. Skillbow. Thank you, sir. Blacksail. Where can everyone find your stuff, Keith?
Yeah, blacksailmarket.com. and on Instagram and Cannabis at Blacksail Market. Are you guys on Cannabis?
We are not on Cannabis as far as we have a show account, I believe, but we're not active on there.
What's
Cool,
your
man.
merch at? Where's your merch?
That's teespring.com/shop black-sail-market. I know that link sucks. I'll post it in the chat,
Perfect, man.
even though the chat bot told me not to.
No, you got permission now. There you go.
There you go.
There we
Get
go.
the last laugh.
James Bond is suggesting that we should do a competition with the 2020 autos. I don't think they've released any autos yet. I know they're working on it, but I don't think they've got any yet, have they?
That I believe they're just working on them right now. So thank you, Keith. Everyone, that's where you can find his stuff. Thank you, panel, for being here. I don't want to make you shout out your stuff again. Thank you, chat, for being here. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you for spending a couple hours with us tonight. Come back for all the shows. Scobo or Red, do you want to shout out all the shows real quick? Late sesh. I know you went over the late sesh thing, but
Okay, hit it real quick. The late sessions on Mondays at 11 until 1. And then what's our next show at that point? Because we're all goofed up. You got me tripped up.
just this one, I think, right?
This one, that's it. I suppose that's all we got then. Okay.
And then
So
Sundays at 9.
Sundays at 9 p.m. here. Other than that, guys, I appreciate it. Everybody, much love. Have a great week and keep reaching for the stars.